So, we are going to talk tonight about swelling, inflammation, swelling, which the professional or the medical term is edema. And I've done a class on this before, but I had somebody in this group post a question about edema, and she asked something about, has anybody else had edema and how they're dealing with it, and is it a kidney issue? So I thought, what a perfect opportunity to talk about edema, and I hope this gal is watching, and so she can get some insight on what edema really is, because your doctors, when you go to your doctor and you say you have edema, they're going to put you on a diuretic, or they're going to tell you something, to try, or they're going to give you medication. It's crazy to me. I talk to women every day and they just don't know. And so tonight, what we're going to talk about is about 8 top reasons why you have edema. And edema is basically swelling in your right, left, or both feet and ankles or legs. And so we're going to talk about 8 that are pretty common. However, you can have more than just one of these. So each of these 8 will cause swelling or cause edema. However, it's usually never just one thing, right? You have a combination of these things going on. So we're going to talk about that tonight. And those of you who, I'm going to throw a lot of information at you in a short period of time. So if you do need to come back and rewatch it and take notes, feel free to do that. Every time I do. What I do want to start by saying, though, is that I always have to start with a disclaimer, because I am not a medical doctor. I would never want to be a medical doctor, because medical doctors, what they do is they just only know how to diagnose and prescribe medications. But I am a holistic health practitioner, a diabetes and weight loss nutritionist, but I am not a medical doctor. So anything that I'm sharing with you tonight is not medical advice. However, if you ever come and work with me, I am then on your medical team, right? Because what I will do is I will help you navigate conversations that you can have with your doctor about your health. That's where there's a great value in that, because when you're by yourself and you go to your doctor and you're not educated in your health or what is happening with your health, you just worship them, or I shouldn't say worship them, but you just do what they say because you trust them. That's how it's supposed to be. You trust them, but it's turned so much into a allopathic drug sort of relationship now. It's not the same anymore. It's more, you go to your doctor, you see him for 10 or 15 minutes every 6 months, and how can they absolutely understand your situation in 15 minutes every 6 months? They can't. So they'll look at you and they'll ask you questions, and then they'll run the labs, and they look at the labs, and then they put you on medication. That's their process. And there's no way around that. That's just, it is what it is. So where I come in and where I really love to help my clients is, first I teach you. I will teach you about your health and teach you about diabetes, especially, and women's hormones. I'm a women's hormone specialist. And so what I do is I will help you teach you first, but help you navigate conversations and help you understand what questions you need to ask your doctor. Because to be very honest with you guys, and this is what I tell my clients, for me personally, I will never use a doctor, an MD, ever again for my general health, ever. Never. I never will. And I like to teach my clients how to do that also. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to a doctor. I'm not saying that, but I am saying when you become empowered by understanding diabetes, women's hormones, weight loss, when you understand the underlying root cause, and I teach that, when you understand that, all of a sudden you don't need to go to your doctor as much, because now your symptoms are going away, your edema is going away, your diabetes is getting reversed, your A1C is going down, your blood sugars are going down, right? So everything is becoming normal. So then you don't need your doctor. That is what I try to teach you in this group, but more in depth if you come work with me, because most of you need that guidance. You need that structure, because you need that person that comes in between you and your doctor, right? Because your doctor's just going to tell you what to do and go on medications. I'm kind of like part of your team that's pushing, for you, trying to help you to see and tell your doctor that, listen, there is another option. There's other ways to handle your health without going on medications all the time. But it's hard to do that by yourself. So anyway, again, I'm just not a medical doctor. And so anything I share in these classes, just remember, you have to still do your own due diligence. I mean, of course, I would recommend you come work with me because I'll teach you everything. But if that's not an option right now, you have to be able to have conversations with your doctor about anything I recommend, because this is I'm not giving you medical advice. However, your doctors, most of them, are not going to understand and or agree with holistic therapeutics because that's not what they're taught. It is what it is. Okay. So tonight we're talking about edema. And with edema, it's swelling in your lower legs, ankles, and feet. And while most people think it's a kidney issue, it's actually a sign of something much deeper going on inside of your body. So today I want to walk you through all the potential causes of edema and then show you what is actually behind the swelling. Okay? And remember, like I said, when you go to your doctor now, you guys are on the left side of the chart. So you go to your medical doctor for your prescriptions, managing your drugs, get some labs, and surgery and trauma care. Okay? What I try to do is get you off the medications, get you off the prescriptions so that you don't need drug management. And then we still depend on your doctor for what we need to depend them on, which is doing your lab work. And of course, if there's an emergency situation where you need surgery or trauma. Okay? If you go to your doctor, listen to me. If you go to your doctor and ask your doctor how to lose weight, they won't know how to tell. They'll say, oh, go diet or exercise more or eat less or go do keto. They don't know. They don't. And weight loss, even though it's simple, depending on your situation, your diabetes, your history, your hormones, what medications you're on, it can be very complex. And so you need somebody to be able to kind of clean the slate, like get you homeostasis, which is get you off the medications first, help you with your diet, your nutrition, get you nutrified, and then the weight will start coming off, or then the diabetes will start going away. But you ask your doctor how to reverse diabetes. He'll say this: you can't. Once you're on diabetes medications, we manage it. You can't reverse it. 100% wrong. You go to your doctor for heartburn. Heartburn is one of the acid reflux, one of the easiest things to fix. It's a nutritional symptom. Acid reflux is a symptom of a nutritional and gut acidity problem. And they will put you on antacid. And then it never works. It works short term. They never get to the underlying root cause. They try to mask it with medications. Okay, so medications will never cure. Medications will never reverse. Medications don't heal. Medications manage. And while the medications manage, they also will cause other symptoms, other things in the body to break down. So one medication short term might fix that one little issue that you're on the medication for, but then that medication, because your body doesn't recognize it, will cause another symptom. That medication will cause another symptom, and then you have to go on another medication for that symptom. So this is why they just pile on the medications, because our bodies aren't designed to have medications. Now, before you guys get all your undies in a bundle, I'm not saying all medications are bad all the time. What I'm saying is that your body shouldn't need a medication. And if your doctor keeps giving you medication for medication, then you're paying for sick care, right? So our bodies are designed to be healthy. And short-term medication sometimes is actually very good. If you have an infection and you need an antibiotic, thank God for antibiotics, right? If you get into a car accident and you have a lot of pain, thank goodness for pain medication. Those short-term, scenarios. But if you're on a long-term medication because your doctor says you need to be on this long-term, they just have not discovered the underlying root cause. And you're never going to get to the underlying root cause when you're on medications. You can't. Okay, so that is what this group teaches. This is what I help my clients do. I only can touch the surface on these in these classes, but if you come work with me, of course we get to the root cause of everything. Okay, so it's never just one thing. It's when I'm going to go through these reasons tonight of the top things that cause edema. Like I said, it could be one, two, or three altogether at the same time. So my advice to you would be just to listen to some of the reasons and see if you can make some adjustments in your lifestyle right now. And then, of course, come work with me or come talk with me, and I'll be able to get you fixed up. Okay. So the first one we're going to talk about is low protein. So if you're not eating enough protein, especially if you're like a vegan or vegetarian, your blood protein called albumin drops. And when albumin is low, water starts to build up around your cells, and that can cause swelling. Now, here's the thing. If, let's say, you are eating protein and you get swelling, well, then it could be that you're not digesting protein very well. So that could mean low stomach acid, poor digestion. You could have some gut infection that keeps your body from breaking down food properly. So sometimes adding a digestive enzyme or apple cider vinegar can really help here. But low protein is sometimes a factor of why you have edema. Now, I'm going to say this. If you are vegan and vegetarian, I'm not saying that is wrong, because I truly believe, and I've talked about this before, but I truly believe we need to go in and out of different protocols, diets, nutrition. I like the word diet because diet is short term. I call anytime you switch up your nutrition a protocol. I strongly believe that there's a time and place to be vegetarian for a little bit, and then there's a time and place for maybe some keto, and there's a time and place for maybe some carnivore, and there's a time and place for, I call it moderate. We do a moderate. We don't do keto. I don't believe in like the Atkins diet where you do high fat and any kind of foods that you want that are high in fat. And then I don't believe in that. I believe everything is about quality of food. But my point is that if you're a vegan or vegetarian and you're getting a lot of edema, you might need to start adding, for a short period of time, add some protein back in for a period of time and just see if that helps, right? And we should be, our diets, our nutrition, our protocols should be cyclical, meaning we should never be eating the same things all the time. That's one of the things that my clients typically have happened to them when they come and work with me. That's what I've noticed, is that they're just eating the same things all day, every day. They're not switching it up, or they're eating the wrong foods, of course, but mostly they're just eating the same things all the time. And that you can't do that. You can't, your body has to have different fibers, different phytonutrients, different nutrients, different colors of the rainbow, different protein, different amino acids. So if you're eating the same thing all the time, you're not getting fully nutrified, because you're not getting a variety of vitamins and minerals, which is what your body needs. So back to the class. I like to go off on tangents, but so again, low protein can be one reason. Now, number two, you can have low potassium. If you're not eating enough leafy greens, then you're not getting enough potassium. Do you know that we need 4,700 milligrams of potassium a day? Now, if you want a visual of what that looks like, that's between 8 to 10 cups of vegetables a day, particularly greens. And most people are way short of that. So the best sources of potassium are beet greens, pistachios, avocados, kale, spinach, real whole foods, vegetables. So when you eat a lot of junk food or processed food, we get tons of sodium and no potassium. So that imbalance causes the body to retain water. Remember, sodium retains water, potassium pushes it out. So increasing potassium naturally will help swelling. Now let me explain one thing. Sodium is not bad. It's the type that you put in your body. So the sodium you're getting from packaged food and junk is processed toxic sodium. The sodium you're getting from sea salt when you salt your food, or vegetables, that's the kind of salt that you need. Now, vegetables are low in sodium, so you're not getting enough. You're going to have to salt your food if you're eating a lot of greens. Okay, so when you have that imbalance of salt, sodium to potassium, that's a problem because your body needs both. So when your doctor's telling you not to have salt, not to salt your food, he's absolutely wrong. And what I'm saying is you need to salt your food, but use the right kind of salt. You don't want the iodized salt. If you're buying Morton salt, that's a totally processed chemical iodized salt. That's not what I'm talking. You need good sea salt, Baja Gold, Himalayan. Those salts are from the earth and they have minerals in them. They're not processed. They're not bleached with bleach. Iodized salt, they take all the minerals out and they bleach it to process it to make it cheap. So again, that's the difference. Okay. So your body needs both sodium and potassium. So what's happening a lot of times is you're eating all this processed food that has a ton of sodium and not enough potassium. You're not eating enough greens, so that imbalance is causing your body to retain water. Okay. Of course, a big one, number 3, is diabetes. If you're diabetic, pre-diabetic, or insulin resistant, you're always going to be low in potassium because your body, when your blood sugar is high and your insulin is high, it blocks your ability to absorb potassium and vitamin B1. So when you don't have a good combination of potassium and B1, that leads to fluid retention. And too much glucose in the body holds on to extra fluid. So until you fix your diet, right, until you get rid of the processed food, until you start fixing that imbalance of sodium to potassium, the swelling is going to keep coming back. Okay, so high blood sugar is always a cause of swelling and edema because you're always low in potassium and you're low on B1. So high levels of sugar, again, you have to work on that. If you're trying to, work on all these other things, but your blood sugar is still high, it's gonna come back. Okay. Another one, and I mentioned this in the sugar one, but is low B1. So B1 deficiency is also called beriberi. That's the medical term. But low B1 can cause swelling in your feet and ankles, and you might not even know you're deficient in it. So I just told you, if you have diabetes, you're deficient in B1. So low B1 doesn't always show up in your blood work either. And the main culprits of a low B1, besides diabetes, is too many carbs, too much alcohol, too much sugary foods, which all deplete your B1. So to fix this, you want to supplement with B1. Now, my favorite type of B1 is called benfotiamine. And because the benfotiamine is a fat soluble versus just a regular B1 that you can buy, like a B complex, I like benfotiamine, and also nutritional yeast. You can buy this at your grocery store and you can sprinkle that on your vegetables and you're getting natural B1. And this actually tastes really good because it kind of tastes like cheese. This gives your a little bit of flavor to your food. So that would be some additional things that you could take to get B1 and see if that helps. Another reason why you could have swelling is you have a heart issue. Okay, so here's kind of how this works. If your left leg, left ankle, left leg, left foot is swollen, it can be a sign of heart dysfunction. If you have diabetes, your heart is probably affected, because when you have diabetes, it puts a lot of pressure on the heart. So if you notice that just your left only, that can indicate a heart issue. So remember, healthy diet, intermittent fasting always helps with the heart. And of course, always being cognizant of trying to reverse or lower your blood sugar so you can reverse your diabetes. Now let's talk about the right foot. If the right foot is swollen and you have more edema in the right and not the left, that is usually a sign of liver issues, like a fatty liver or cirrhosis. If you look down and you see a big belly, okay, that's visceral fat in your gut. That often means that your liver is full of fat. And sometimes that will cause your feet to swell, specifically the right. And the only way to know for sure if you have a fatty liver is due to ultrasound. But a good indication is if you look down and you have a hard time seeing your toes because your belly's covering, most of your feet, that is visceral fat, and that definitely is a clue that you could have fatty liver. And sometimes, listen, the sad thing is sometimes when you have a fatty liver, no symptoms really show up until it becomes advanced. So start taking care of it now. If you're noticing any swelling in your feet, if you have a gut, you need to start taking some of these steps I teach in this class. Every single week, I teach you things that you can do to start really fixing and creating balance in the body. So eat clean, eliminate sugar, and intermittent fast. Another one is kidneys, right? Your kidneys can be failing. And so if both of your feet are swollen, that can mean that your kidneys are at a point of dysfunction. Now, people will ask me, what comes first, the kidney issues or the swelling? Well, diabetes is what's causing the kidneys to be dysfunctional. So the high blood sugars, the insulin, the diabetes is causing stress on the kidneys, and then comes the edema. So if both feet are swollen, you can point to kidney dysfunction most likely. And remember, diabetes and kidney problems go hand in hand. And once again, the answer is not another pill. Okay? It's a blood sugar and anti-inflammatory nutrition problem. You don't need another pill. You don't need a diuretic, because that's not fixing the underlying root problem. You have to lower your blood sugars, lower your insulin, understand your toxic load so your kidneys can function properly, and then the edema will go away. So you don't need another pill, which is what your doctors always tell you you need. Okay, and then finally, there's a condition called mixed edema. And this one looks like swelling, but it's actually puffiness from a slow thyroid. And when your thyroid isn't working properly, waste builds up under the skin, especially around the ankles. And so addressing thyroid health naturally will help that to go away. And if you have diabetes, insulin resistance, which is, prediabetes, so insulin resistance, prediabetes, or diabetes, your thyroid is being affected. And so it might not be affected right away, but eventually, if you start getting, 5-10 years into your diabetes, and then you go to your doctor and he's doing thyroid labs, and your thyroid labs keep going way out of range, and then he keeps putting you on thyroid medication, and you have to keep adjusting that, you have a very dysfunctioning thyroid. And so keep increasing the medications is not going to fix the underlying root problem. You have to fix the diabetes and the nutrition so that your thyroid can heal. You don't need more medications, okay? So again, you need to fix your diet first. That's the bottom line. If you have edema, you've got to fix your nutrition. You've got to hire a coach or somebody like me to help you get off medications, to help customize a diet for you. So many people chase symptoms and they get short-term results with medication or water pills, right? But they never fix the root cause. So you got to start with clean, whole foods. You got to add potassium-rich vegetables. You got to add benfotiamine B1 to your protocols, or buy a good benfotiamine supplement. Along with changing your diet. Don't just go and buy a benfotiamine and not change your diet. It's not going to do anything, okay? But if you have edema, you need to add some benfotiamine. You need to clean up your diet. And you need to fix your digestion, okay? Because your digestion, if you have edema, you're not breaking down foods very well because your body's retaining water. So when you fix all of that that's going on inside of your body, and you fix what you're putting in, and you start doing some of these things, especially changing what you're putting in and what you're putting on, you're going to see some improvement. So don't focus on the symptom as much as trying to fix the underlying problem by changing your diet, adding some B1, things like that. Okay. So again, how do you know how do you know which one of these it is? I would say, quite honestly, it's probably a little bit of all of it, especially if you have diabetes. Okay. So if you have edema, it's not just your kidneys. Because if you go to your doctor and he says it's your kidneys, yeah, your kidneys are suppressed because of your diabetes, but a pill isn't going to fix that. You have to fix everything as a whole because it's never just one thing. You know, you guys hear me talk about that all the time. It's never just one thing. So we have to look at our bodies like a car, right? We take good care of our cars. We clean the oil, we put good gas in, we vacuum the inside, we wash the outside. We take good care. Sometimes we take better care of our cars or our houses than we do our bodies. So if you're putting bad food in, like you're putting bad oil in your car's not going to run. Your body's not going to run. It's going to break down. If you're putting in bad foods all the time, or the wrong type of foods and toxins, you're going to, just like your car is going to rust if you're, driving in sleet and salt all the time. Your cells are going to rust if you're putting in all this toxic food all the time. So you can kind of just use a car analogy similar to your body. And over time, our bodies are so resilient, you guys. Our bodies are very strong. And this is why so many people will go year after year after year after year. And then all of a sudden they go to the doctor and they have diabetes. Well, you don't get diabetes overnight. It's a progressive disease. But so many times you won't have symptoms until you get to the doctor. And all of a sudden your A1C is 6.5. And then the doctor's like, oh, we got to put you on medication. And I'm going to say one thing here real quick because I just signed up somebody this last week, and we were having a conversation. And I love talking to women because I get so much insight on what the doctors are telling you, and it's criminal what they're doing, and it really makes me mad. But this particular lady, her doctor said that, or her A1C was 6.9, and that's fine. 6.9 is fine. When you get to 7 is when you got to start taking the medications. 6.9 is horrible. 6.9 is not good. Anything over 5.7 is bad. Anything over 5.7, you have diabetes. So your doctors are saying, oh, 6.9, we'll manage it. And, it's just crazy to me. 6.9, 6.2, 6.1 is not 6.0, 5.9. No, we need to get your A1C under 5.7. We have to, which is a blood sugar reading of between 80 and 100 milligrams per deciliter. Now, for you Canadians, that would be 5.1 millimoles per liter, right? The A1C is still the same, but for the blood sugars, I think it'd be 5.1 to 5.2 millimoles is that range of 80 to 100. And most women I talk to, their blood sugars are way in the hundreds, sometimes the 200s. And listen, don't settle for thinking that that's okay. Blood sugars between 120 and 200 or more are not good because remember this. If you can remember anything, here's the visual. When you have chronic high blood sugar like that, okay? When you have high chronic blood sugar, first of all, is the medications the doctor puts you on don't fix the underlying problem. All the medications do is they hide the sugar from the blood. So when you prick your finger, oh, look at the medications are working. It's lowering my blood sugar. No, what it's doing is it's taking the sugar and it's pushing it into your tissues, your kidneys. Why do you think your kidneys are failing? Because these medications are pushing that toxic sugar into your kidneys, into your liver, into your cells, and your heart, and you're getting heart disease, and you're getting neuropathy, and you're getting fatty liver. The medications don't heal. The medications are hiding, are fake, are fake, putting your sugar, blood sugar levels down. It's fake. Because you still have all that sugar in your body. They're just hiding in the tissues. We have to burn that sugar. We have to understand how to get rid of it permanently for good. So, and then we have to fix the process of where your body knows how to manage that glucose without medication. So when your doctor's telling you, I'm just telling you right now, when your doctor's telling you that, 6.5 is fine and you're on medication, you're managing it, and eventually, one day, it could be a week from now, it could be 5 years from now. That's the thing with diabetes. You just don't know. It could be you're playing with fire. Next week, it could be all of a sudden now you're in the hospital because the medications aren't working anymore, and you're in the hospital with a chronic, blood spike, and it's a urgent crisis. Or you're just slowly perpetuating the diabetes getting worse. It's going to get worse. It's never going to get better with medications. I'm just being honest with you, and I'm being real with you. So wouldn't it be worth focusing on fixing it now so you can have a good quality of life so you don't have to worry about that. Think about that. So many of you have been suffering with edema, suffering with kidney issues, suffering with fatty liver, suffering with high blood sugar, suffering, poking yourself with needles and insulin and on all these medications and metformin that's causing so many side symptoms. And you're on blood pressure medication and you're on thyroid medication and you're on cholesterol. And the cholesterol medications is causing you to ache and have fibromyalgia. And then you just keep getting all these symptoms and all these new diagnoses. Stop the insanity. Stop the insanities. Your doctors are not helping you. You're paying for sick. You're paying. Here's the way to look at it, right? People come to me sometimes and they're like, "Oh, you take insurance." I'm like, I wouldn't want to take it. Your insurance is paying for you to get sicker. Your insurance is paying for you to get sicker because your insurance is covering your doctor's visits. Your insurance is covering your medications, which is what is not going to ever heal you. So why don't you save money on your sick care and put it towards your getting better? Invest in your health and learning and understanding and learning this stuff so you can fix it and allocate it towards something that's going to actually work because you'll save money in the long run. Tracy says she have fatty liver. Yeah, Tracy, and listen, here's the good news, Tracy. Fatty liver is 100% reversible, but you can't Google your way to better health. You can't AI your better way to health. Your doctor, you can't have your doctor help you either. Like there's got to be a time. And Tracy, you've been in this group a long time, girl. I love you, and it's time. You really need to consider setting up a time to come talk with me, because you've been in this group for what, 4 or 5 years. If you would have done this 5 years ago, you'd be probably diabetes free by now. So listen, quit trusting your doctors because they're good for, of course we need your doctors, and your doctor might be the nicest person in the world. And I'm not trying to rip on doctors, but they're too busy to help you. They don't know how to help you because all they have been taught in medical school is how to diagnose and how to prescribe medications based on your blood work. And even the lab ranges, they're not up to speed on lab ranges. They're not. They're wrong when it comes to cholesterol every time. They're wrong. They're telling you that, your cholesterol should not be over 200. They're absolutely wrong. They're wrong on that. Higher cholesterol you have, the good cholesterol, the higher it is, the healthier you are. And eating fat doesn't cause high cholesterol. Inflammation causes the LDL cholesterol to be, that's a whole nother class. Woo! I've done classes on that. If you want to learn about cholesterol and really understand and be able to talk to your doctor about your cholesterol labs, watch my video I've done on that because that'll help you a lot, be able to have that conversation. I love to be able to help. I love communicating with you guys. I love answering questions. And most importantly, I'm so on a mission to help all of you women reverse your diabetes, get to your goal weight, and be able to understand and be empowered to be able to stay there. So you don't have the worry of your diabetes coming back. I'm on a mission to help you with that. And here's what I'm going to say. It's hard to do it on your own. And it's not because you're stupid. It's not because you don't have the willpower, it's not because you don't have the smarts. It's because it's hard work. It's confusing. And you need somebody that has been studying this for a long time to help you. Your doctors haven't been studying this. They don't know. They know how to prescribe medications. They don't know how to help you with reversing your diabetes or losing weight. They just know pills. And pills 100% don't help you. So I'm so committed to helping you guys. But you guys have to be the ones that understand you have to make the decision that you're important enough to do something about it. Because you have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to take that step, that leap of faith, and say, okay, I am ready to finally get control of this, whatever it takes. If you don't have that, then you're not ready. Then you can just expect that your diabetes will get worse. You'll keep gaining weight, and eventually your quality of life is just not going to, I mean, you, The last thing I'll say, and I've heard somebody say this, oh, sometimes it's like, well, I'm on all these medications and I'm managing and I feel fine. Okay, maybe you do now, but you can't be on five, six, seven medications long term and feel good. You can't. Your body will break down eventually. It's just I've never, ever, ever, ever seen somebody on three, four, five medications that feels vibrant. In fact, most people that are on those medications, they tell themselves they feel good because they don't even know what good feels like anymore. They've settled to feeling like crap. So, all right, you guys, I hope this was helpful. And listen, if you need some help, if you're at the point where it's like, okay, Tara, I'm ready. I want you to go to zoomwithteri.com and set up a time to come talk to me. Okay, zoomwithteri.com, set up a time, let's meet, and let's talk about your situation. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be like, yep, you're ready, let's go, I can help you. Or I'm going to be like, nope, I can't help you, and you're not ready. I'm going to be honest with you. So, if you set up a time to meet with me, it's not going to be a pressure situation. It's going to be, are you ready? Is this your time to get this figured out once and for all? So go to my zoomwithteri.com, get on my schedule, let's talk. And hopefully I'll see a lot of you scheduling this week. And I will see you next week live for this class. And if you have any ideas of what you guys would like me to teach on, please leave some ideas in the group. Tag me in the group and give me some suggestions. I love your feedback. Have a great night, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye. Choose me. And I don't want to lose me, so I need to choose me. I don't know what to say. Is it high? Is it hay? Okay, that's stupid. Words are hard, everybody's gay. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Wish I could stay away. Chances I gave up, all the wasted time when I was stuck. The pain was all too much, still I'm holding on inside. I'm messed up, I'm toxic, I'm dragging you down. Can you still love me? Can you still love? I'm still here, I'm drowning, I'm lost now without you. I'm dead in the water, I'm not dead in your soul. I'm barely alive, I miss you all of the time. I'm floating but I'm barely alive. I'm dead in the water, I'm dead, will you pull me I'll take up all the blame. Just tell me that there's still some good left to make.